Alright, in the diagram, ray DA is tangent to the circle at point A and ray DB is secant to the circle at point C and B. The rays intersect outside of the circle at point D to form an angle with a measure of 3x plus 15 degrees, which intercepts arc AB and arc AC. If the measure of arc AB is equal to 169, and the measure of arc AC is equal to 79 degrees, what is the value of x? So notice that this is the angle that's outside of the circle. So I'm just going to use what I had typed out in words. So the angle is angle ADB, and the arcs that it's going to intercept is where it intersects on the circle, where those lines, those rays, hit the circle, and that was listed out right here and here and here. So now those are going to create the intercepted arcs. We were given that it intercepts arc AB and arc AC. So we do know those two arcs. So now let's use substitution. We know that angle ADB was given to be 3x plus 15. We know that the larger arc has a measure of 169. We know that the smaller arc has a measure of 79 degrees. Now some of you might be saying, will it always be this, will the larger arc always be the outside right here? Yes, it will. And will the smaller arc always be this arc closest to the angle? Yes, it will. So the larger arc will always be the ones near the ends, and the smaller arc will always be the one closest to the angle. So now let's jump over to the Symbol Lab algebra calculator, because it shows it the steps faster than I can type it in. So I typed that in, and here's the steps. We would subtract 169 minus 79, so we would start within these parentheses, which reduces down to 90. Where did this 1/2 come from? They just rearranged, since it was multiplying. They moved the 1/2 to the back, which is completely legal with multiplication. So we have 90 times 1/2. How we multiply the fractions, it's showing you right here that you multiply the two top numbers and the denominator remains unchanged. So 90 times 1 is 90, and actually technically there's a denominator there that's implied as a 1, and 1 times 2 is 2. So that's why this number remains unchanged. So 90 divided by 2 is equal to 45, so that's where we jump to 45. Plus 15 minus 15 reduces down to plus a 0. So 3x plus 0 ends up being 3x because it doesn't change its value. 45 minus 15 is equal to 30. 3 divided by 3, the next step, that reduces down to 1, so then we would have a 1x, and 30 divided by 3 is equal to 10. So in math, it is often just implied that if we wrote an x, that we had at least one value of it, so that's why the 1 is not written often. It's because it's understood that if I had written down an x, I have one value of the x. So x is equal to 10. And then we come over to our workbook. What does that mean? It means that if I were to plug 10 back in here to 3x plus 15, where this x is, I'd be able to find the measure of this angle ADB. So that's what that 10 is useful for.